Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 10 of Morning Mug Talks. Now, I am having charging difficulties today, so excuse the fact that I'm going to be holding the mic. And making sure that it stays on. I did charge it. It didn't work. I actually think this one's on the way out because it runs out of battery like incredibly quickly. So anyways, we'll see how we go. All right, so today's episode, I'm going to do my best to fit this in to 30 to 40 minutes because it's absolutely one of my all-time favourite topics. I love it. So I want to talk today about masculine and feminine energies within relationships and how if you're single right now, maybe even if you're in a relationship, if you're in your wounded masculine as a guy or you're in your wounded feminine as a woman, this means you're more than likely going to be attracting people into your world who are just like, they're not the kind of people that you really want. However, you're like, why do I keep pulling these people in? Why do I keep attracting people who are not kind or not genuine or not nice, or they're like really hurt people walking around hurting other people? Okay, so it's going to be a big topic. One good thing about having this like this is I can move it away while I have a sip, and you guys won't hear me sip, which that's a plus. Okay, so I'm also going to do my best to not move this hand when I get really animated so that it stays here and you guys hear me the whole time. All right, so let's start. Now, what is masculine and feminine energy? You've probably seen this thrown around on socials, but basically it is a woman more than likely going to be feminine in her core. A guy more than likely going to be masculine at his core. And from that space, we each have different needs. We each have different qualities that are our natural qualities, that are healthier qualities, or I guess healed qualities. And then we also have parts of us that are more in the shadow. They are our wounded parts. They're the parts that we have never fully healed, and so they continue to come out even as adults. Because remember, from the ages of 0 to 7, they even say 0 to 11 now, is when we are most programmed and conditioned. That is when we become who we are during that age gap. And so once we go past that age, yes, we're still learning and yes, we're still experiencing life, but whatever happens in those core years, that is who we carry through as an adult, especially if there's been any traumatic experiences or difficult times, challenges, whatever your family dynamic was during those years, okay? If you don't go through and heal some of that stuff, you're going to carry it through to adulthood. It is programmed within you. It's there. Like, for example, think about kids who are bilingual. Kids who can speak multiple languages or 2 languages. A lot of those kids have a parent who speaks English and a parent who speaks another language, and they are taught the other language from the get-go. And so they've just got it. From that point on, they have got it. They can speak 2 languages for the rest of their life, and in fact, it actually makes it easier for them to then learn more than 2. So it's our brains during those years, our nervous systems, everything is such like a sponge. We're taking it all in. We're being conditioned. We're being programmed with beliefs from our caregivers, all of these sorts of things. And so naturally we carry them into adulthood until we become our own person and we get to figure out what we want to believe in, what we like. We have to learn how to do relationships probably better than our parents do. So that's why it's super important to understand that there is a natural leaning healthier side of your energy system, and there's also a shadow wounded side. The shadow wounded side comes from trauma, childhood experiences, conditioning, other people's experiences that are not your own, other people's beliefs that are not your own. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I am just going to continually check that this is going. So please excuse me on that front. It might get annoying, but it would be more annoying for me if this stops working. So the reason I want to talk about this is because something that I've noticed for me, so I started learning about this, I would say, up to 8 years ago. And it's been a process of stepping out of being more in my masculine energy as a woman, because I'm incredibly independent, super practical, can pretty much do, I learned to be very independent. And whilst that is celebrated in some spaces, when it comes to a relationship, and if I deeply desire to want to be with the guy who's going to take the lead and make decisions, and I'm going to support him in those decisions and all of that sort of stuff, then me being in my masculine means that I'm trying to make the decisions as well, right? So it's like this clash is happening, and that's just going to repel each other. It's not going to work out. And so it's been a journey of learning to let go of that, of learning to lean into more of my feminine, which means I can then call in people in general, like whether it's guys or girls, just like people that I meet, because I've been able to soften, because I've been dropped into my feminine so much more effectively and actually enjoy being there. There's so many things that I'm just like, I would just love a man to come do that for me. I don't want to do it. But back in the day, that would never have been me. It would have been like, okay, how do I figure out how to do that? I'm going to get that done. And now I'm just like, no, it's not the space I want to be in. I don't want to be having to do everything. So because I've been able to drop into that space, I shit you not, I have been meeting so many more people, and I've met a lot of men, not romantically, like just men in general, that are so kind. They are kind, they are generous, they are good-hearted men. And it's been so beautiful to witness, to a point where I am just like, oh my goodness, like you guys are teaching me so much right now. Like their belief systems come from such a wholesome, good place that the words that they speak about random situations or random events is just kind. It's selfless. It's genuine. And it's just like, it's been such a gift to be able to sit back and watch and observe and receive being connected to and having conversations with these guys. And I truly believe that it is because I have been able to drop back into my feminine, which means I've had to let go a lot of my wounded feminine parts, which were 100% attracting in wounded men who, yes, they might have been good people, but they did not have the belief systems coming through, so that just the energy they emitted, the words that they spoke were kind and genuine. They were guarded. They were angry. They were protective. They were criticizing. They were deflecting. They were reactive, defensive. And so being able to learn to drop into my positive, healthy, natural, feminine qualities has meant that I've actually started to just call in and manifest connecting with people who are the same. And that has made my life so much richer. So that's why I want to go through this today, because I do believe it has so much power. And I'm a big fan of this topic in general, especially when it comes to dating and relationships, because I believe the optimum relationship absolutely has teamwork. Absolutely not everyone's firing on all cylinders at all times. It requires, if one person's not feeling great, like you're carrying the team, and vice versa. Like you're looking to help each other constantly. You're looking to be a team, work towards a joint goal, help each other out, like just you're looking to make life richer together. And if either of you are bringing in wounds or bringing in your shadow energy, then it's going to disrupt the balance. However, we all still have our shit. We're never fully healed. We're always healing. So it's going to happen. But it's how you also receive it. So if you're if you're like really guarded, defensive, you're carrying wounds. So whenever your partner comes to you with something, if you get defensive and reactive, that is your wounded space coming through. It means there's stuff to heal there because you're triggered. It's something to look at. And if you're going to them with stuff and they're being defensive or reactive, it means they've got some triggers there that are happening from past conditioned wounds or experiences that need to be looked at, that need some healing. But I think the beautiful part is if you've got the couple, both partners are aware of this, and you can then have a very healthy conversation together about, hey, I noticed that like really upset you, and I'm really sorry, that wasn't my intention. I wonder what come up for you then. Like, where did that come from? And then you talk about it, and then hopefully like you've got two people wanting to grow the dream, and you can work through it together and come to the point of like, oh my gosh, that just triggered me because of this. How interesting. Okay. So I'm sorry that I reacted that way, and now I can see why I reacted that way. I can go do some work on that. And I know that you weren't trying to hurt me, and I'm sorry that I got reactive. Like, these conversations are just so wholesome. It really can be like that. And you go do the work on yourself. So, okay, let's go through each one. I'm going to attach a document to this episode so that you guys can see it, because I'm just going to rattle it off. I'm not going to do any writing this week, because if I was writing this one, we would be here for an hour at least. All right, so we'll start with feminine. We'll start with the women, okay? So, and I might interchange. So I'm going to do my best to explain this without losing you guys, because usually I've done this and taught it with visuals. So let's go. All right, so women need to feel seen, heard, understood, and connected within relationships. That is the core needs of women, which means for guys listening to this, that means seeing her in her pain, seeing her in everything that she does that might not be the things that you think should be getting done, like whether it's cooking food, keeping a tidy house, building a home, going out of her way to do nice things for you that you might just take for granted, whether it's like she does all the washing and folds it up, and she gets your lunch ready every morning. Like, I know relationships where this happens. She is the nurturer. She's loving, she's kind, she's generous. Like, being able to see her in that consistently and be grateful and show gratitude for that and appreciation for that, women will love that. Being heard. So when a woman's talking to you about something that might be really deep, like being able to sit with her and actively listen. Now, actively listen doesn't just mean listen to the words coming out of her mouth. It means you're engaged. It means you're hearing the pain underneath the words. It's going that one step further to be like, wow, that must have been really hard. Like, putting yourself in their shoes to be like, yeah, I'm sorry, babe. Like, that must be really hard for you. Or, like, tell me more about that. How did that make you feel? What did you learn from that? Right? It's actually engaging in the conversation and hearing her in her stuff and remembering those things. It's the opposite of that would be, which happens with a lot of relationships, both ways, not just men to women at all. But it's like the person sharing something really big about their life, something that they're passionate about, something that they love, and their partner's just not interested at all. And so they're not engaging in the conversation. You might get like, oh, yeah, cool, nice. Oh, that's, yeah, awesome. I'm so glad that you loved that. The end. And here you are going like, oh God, like I really am excited about this, and I feel like that was just the end of my excitement. All gone, bye. So it's actively listening. It's choosing to hear what's underneath the words, because it's happening around you everywhere. Start applying this practice in your day-to-day world and just see how much people are sharing that they're not sharing. Like listen for the extra stuff underneath. So women love if they feel seen, heard, and understood within a relationship, and they're feeling, then that means they're feeling incredibly connected to you. And for the guys who are more inclined to need physical touch and to have the intimacy, if your woman is feeling seen, heard, connected, and emotionally held by you, your intimacy levels are going to be through the roof. She's going to be attracted to you all the time. That is the secret. How many relationships do you see where the woman's like, I need more connection. And he's like, I need more physical touch. I need more sex. It's like this massive clash is happening, but both people don't realize that if she's asking for connection, she needs more emotional connection. Once she's got emotional connection, the sex is going to be flowing. And for guys who maybe feel like they're giving all of the emotional connection, they're not getting the sex, then that's a conversation that does need to happen. Like maybe you think you're giving that emotional connection, but you're not giving it in the way that she actually needs to receive it, whatever it might be. Or ladies, if you are getting emotional connection and you're just going through some kind of like lower libido stage, or you're going through menopause, or like hormonal changes, whatever it might be, you're hyper stressed. Women who are highly stressed in high pressure jobs, who are also go do in their own personal life outside of work, chances are going, I'm too tired for sex. So that is a big core thing that I see within relationships. That's everyone just is like, oh, it's just normal that it's like this. It's like, well, it doesn't actually have to be normal. You're both accepting it because you're both flat out and neither of you know how to have the conversation about it. So if anyone's listening to this and you're noticing this is happening within your world, put this podcast on for your partner. Both listen to it. Have a conversation about it. It might be uncomfortable. It might feel awkward. It might be hard. There might be things that you don't want to hear. But this is how you move through the stuff. You have to talk about it. You got to work on it as a team. I just want everybody to be super happy and having sex and be connected and intimate and passionate and all of the juicy good things. So having the emotional connection, the physical connection, like all of it, it's so many people just accept less and they settle for less and they're not happy, they're miserable over time, they are not connected, they're squabbling, they're fighting, they're avoiding each other. Like it's freaking sad. Like you all loved each other at some point. It's so sad to see that people just go into this settled place and they're not getting the most that they can get from their relationships when they've still got them. I just, clearly passionate about this. I'm also really thirsty this morning. I probably should get some water as well, but I'm smashing this coffee today. I might actually finish a coffee for the first time in one episode. Okay, so I keep getting sidetracked. I told you I love this topic. So, all right, back to the ladies. Feeling seen, heard, understood. It means connected. They just want to be emotionally safe and held. Truly, truly, truly. That's the core. Now, a woman who is bringing all of her natural feminine qualities is going to have kindness, unconditional love, nurturing, playfulness. Women who are in their masculine are not going to be super playful because they're too stressed. They're too go, 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 do, thinking about the next thing. She'll be intuitive. She'll be creative. She's going to be genuinely loving. She's going to be thoughtful, radiant, confident. She's going to be supportive. She's going to, as a guy, she's going to make you feel so appreciated. And she's going to make you feel joy. And she's going to make you feel invincible. And needed. She will make you feel needed. And those are the core things that men need. They need to feel appreciated and needed. And they also need to feel like they have their freedom and autonomy. So I'm going to get back to that as well. So that's what the natural feminine qualities are bringing, okay? And I always use this example when I explain this. So when you first, like a lot of people when they're first dating, a lot of women will be this. They will lean so hard into this because it's just new and it's fresh, without understanding that it's happening, right? It's like the chemicals, it's the dopamine being released. It drops them into this space. A lot of women, not everybody, but a lot. But then over time, because people are not taught how to be in relationships, which should be like school 101 in my opinion, they're not taught how to have beautiful relationships. It dwindles away because life steps in, stress steps in. Neither person knows how to understand each other. Neither person knows how to build the relationship in a way that has longevity of an incredible relationship that's connected and fun and joyful and exciting and adventurous and passionate and intimate, and also still handles the hard stuff as well. So she's going to be that at the very start. You're going to experience that woman at the start in dating. She's going to be more than likely she's going to lean into those things more naturally. But then over time, if she hasn't done the healing, she hasn't done the growth, that stuff's going to dwindle away, and the true wounds are going to start coming out as life gets more challenging within the relationship, because a relationship is going to mirror to us all of the stuff that we need to work on. Guaranteed. There is a thing that they say that we attract our parent that we still have wounds with in our partner. And so if you're someone who tends to get excited by red flags or get excited by qualities about somebody that actually long-term don't match your values, then chances are you still have wounds that you need to work on, and that's why you're attracting those people in, and why you might find someone who is incredibly safe and has all these qualities as well and is very just has that really nice energy. You might find them boring because you're still being attracted to the fireworks that always ends up you being hurt. So if that is you, please start looking at that. It's not going to help you. You're just going to continue to get hurt. I also hate that there's the thing of safe is going to feel boring to that. It's not that it feels boring. It's that the boring word is because your nervous system is stimulated by fight, flight, freeze and fawn still. And so when your nervous system experiences that response, that's normal for you. And that's what excites you. But when you experience someone that's safe and grounded and who you could actually build something really beautiful with, your nervous system isn't getting triggered like that. And so therefore your brain equates that to boring, when really you can have so much fun with somebody who is in that space, and obviously that's the goal and that's the ideal situation, but your nervous system is still wired because you haven't done the work to attract people who are going to continue to cause you pain, and you think it's because they're exciting. They're not. It's all you. It is all your own nervous system being attracted to that person, because it's firing off what you're used to and conditioned to. Okay, so I just brought that so close to me when I swallowed. I'm so sorry. I'm so aware of this because I hate the sound. Some sounds, I hate them, like chewing sometimes, really close to me. Oof, ick. Someone's swallowing really loudly. Oh, like the cringe level. So I'm so conscious of this and I just dropped the ball on that. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. All right, so the shadow. So women who are going to be in their shadow feminine, their wounded feminine, whichever you want to call it, these are the women who are going to be very criticizing. So they're going to criticize everything you do. They're going to play the victim. They're going to probably be oversensitive and over emotional, like they're just going to cry at the drop of a hat, or they're going to yell. They're going to be like really heightened, like boom boom, one end to the other. They will be incredibly needy, and they're going to be codependent. So they're going to need you for everything, which means as a guy you're not actually getting to tap into that natural like autonomy and freedom that you guys need. So yeah, if you're experiencing dating or your partner who, and she is dropping into being very criticizing, very, needy, maybe manipulative, maybe she's withholding, controlling. Show me a woman that is controlling, who does not have wounds, who is not in her masculine energy. They all are, okay? Yeah. And if you're already in a relationship and this is what you're experiencing as a woman, chances are, if you've been trying to not do that anymore, it means that your man is used to being babied, mothered. You've got the dynamic where you're his mother. Super common because, again, men with mother wounds are going to attract women who are mothery. So, yeah, just caveat on that. All right, so that's kind of the shadow feminine. So if you're dating a woman and she's coming in, she's very criticizing, like just has to like point the negative out all the time. She's quite controlling. She's quite super independent. She doesn't lean on you. She doesn't need you. She doesn't ask you for things. She doesn't like compliment you. She doesn't say thank you when you do nice things for her. Like she doesn't ask for help for things. She's going to be in a hyper masculine. You need to decide if that's someone you want to be with or not, because it depends. Yeah, again, it's not the optimum. Like, it is not the optimum coupling, in my opinion. So let's go into men. All right. So a wounded man, he's going to be like every time you bring something to him that's not even about him, that's just about you, he's going to be reactive, defensive. Men in their wounded masculine will also be controlling. They will be manipulative. They'll be angry. And like, the kind of guys that go out to the pub and just always end up in fights. That dude is full of wounded masculinity. He has had something happen throughout his childhood that's been really crap. And that is why that is his go-to, okay? Very high in ego. A man in his wounded masculine is going to have a lot of ego. They are not going to feel emotionally safe. Like men who abuse power or who are abusive, they're avoidant. Yeah, that's a lot of the wounded masculine traits. And I would say most people listening to this, both guys and girls, will have known guys like this in their time and will have known women who are in their wounded absolutely as well. Like the middle-aged women who are just miserable in service roles, customer service roles, that is wounded feminine. Everyone's known one. You've all met one. You've all been to a doctor's surgery and just been met with this cold, cranky, woman who hates her life and radiates it onto everybody else. We've all been there. We've all met them, right? So I just want to preface that I am not sexist in any way, shape, or form. Like I said at the start, I have been meeting so many beautiful men. I love meeting men who are just beautiful and kind and genuine and have such beautiful family values. They have such beautiful values towards women, all of these things. And I'm meeting so many more of them now. It's amazing. I love it. I just watched Tour de France. Anyone here who's watching this who loved, if you didn't watch Tour de France, get into it. Those men, every interview, every post race finish, like they say, and it's not even just like the teamwork within it. Even if they're not on the same teams, they do kind things for each other. They help each other out. They like sacrifice their own wins to help a teammate get across the line. At the end, they always have their wives or their partners and their children there, and they're so incredibly grateful and thankful to them. And it's just, my heart melted so many times over the last 24 days, 28 days, whatever it was. 3 weeks watching Tour de France. It was beautiful. And I'm just like, I love this so much. Their values, it just radiates out of them. It's so nice. So, I love kind men. I love kind women as well. But I'm just like, good men are out there, ladies. You just need to drop your guards so that you can start seeing them and you can start meeting them and connecting with them. Truly. And vice versa. There's so many great women out there, guys. If you've been burned, do the work on yourself. Go meet the good women. We do exist. I promise you. All right. So men in their natural, like healthy qualities, they are going to be grounded. They're going to be like more sure of themselves. They're going to know who they are, what they enjoy doing with their life. They're going to be comfortable in how they live. They're going to be grounded. You're going to notice that presence. You will notice a man who's grounded and a man who is not. He's going to feel safe, emotionally safe, physically safe. Like you're just going to get that safe vibe. Like his presence allows you to just be gooey. It allows you to be completely feminine. It allows you to drop into playfulness consistently because you know he's safe. He's got you, right? He will probably pretty logical. Most men are very logical, decisive. He's going to be able to make decisions. He's going to lean into taking the lead, okay? And a woman who's in her masculine is going to clash with that. A woman in her feminine, she's going to be all for it. He will be confident. He's going to have clarity. He'll probably be quite disciplined in how he lives his life. He will be certain and he's going to take initiative and be assertive, which means when he takes the lead, he's going to be making decisions. And there's going to be times when, when he does that, you support him because that is how he feels needed and appreciated when he is the man of the house, when he is taking the lead, when he's calling the shots for the family, and you're allowing him to do that. It's so important. Obviously, you're not going to lead them to making shit decisions. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that objectively, like most women, a lot of women might just disagree with how a man's going to do things because we see things differently anyway. Like, we will see something that needs to be done. A man will see something that needs the same thing that needs to be done. And we're probably going to do it two completely different ways. And probably both think our way is the better way. But sometimes you're just going to let that go. You just got to let the other person do the thing the way they want to do it. And you know what? Just let it go. Like, it's not worth fighting over that, right? But we are different. We have different brains. Such different brains. So just, be aware of that. But let him make decisions. If you trust him and he's a good man and he's been leading your family and he's been leading the relationship and, like you guys have a really good relationship, you're connected, or even if you're dating, lean into it. Let him make decisions and like actually ask for things. Ask these things of him so that you can see that he can lead, so that you can see that he is capable of making the decisions when he might be overwhelmed, when he might have a lot on his plate already, because that's going to show you what it's going to be like when things do get harder because you get more responsibilities the further into the relationship that you go. So they're all the beautiful qualities of a man, and they're the natural healed masculine qualities that you're going to see. So, and I didn't really tap into this that much, but so for a guy, what you need is you need to feel needed from your partner, you need to feel appreciated, and you need autonomy, aka freedom. And I don't say that as in freedom to go do whatever the fuck you want. No. It means freedom as in you don't want to be criticized and controlled for every single thing you decide to do or want to do within the relationship. It is the surest, farthest way to just kill it. Am I right? Am I right? Tell me, guys, am I right? Ugh, still recording. This is still on. I think we're going to make it, guys. Look at that. And we're going 35 minutes. So, yeah, you guys, like, you need to have your autonomy. Like, if you want to, and, you know, this is what I love about relationships that are really healthy as well, is that there is the conversations for starters of like Sunday evenings. All right, what's the plan for this week? What do we both want to achieve? How can we help each other to achieve it? So if you're with somebody who, like, particularly relationships where there's already kids involved, this is so incredibly handy, just so that you both have each other's back throughout the whole week. And by doing this, you're prioritizing each other, yourselves, and the relationship, which means that you're going to have a much more enjoyable week together if you both can help each other out to get things done. So say, you know, like, say you're a couple and you've got a young child, a baby at home, right? Mum's at home, she's on mat leave, she's looking after the baby. Dad is still working and still trying to get everything in as well. Now, Sunday evening, have a conversation. Okay, how can I help you achieve all the things you want to achieve this week? Say you both like to exercise. Super easy one to use as an example here. All right, Dad likes to do early morning sessions before he goes to work. Okay, great. I'm going to make sure, Mum's going to make sure that that is a priority and that happens for him. And what days do you need to do that, right? If it's every day, like, that's something that you guys work towards. If it's only going to be like, you know, I only need to do it like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, so Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday night, I am 100% on bub duty. You go, you get a good sleep, you get up, you go do your early morning exercise and training with as much energy as you can have. And then on the other nights of the week, it's like, okay, well, whether mum wants to get up early and go train, or if she's completely just cooked and sleep deprived and just needs more rest without the broken sleep to get up to bub, Dad's like, all good, I've got you, babe. Like, you rest on those mornings and take a sleep in. I'm going to make you a coffee in the morning. I'm going to bring it to you. I'm going to make you breakfast. Like, go the extra little mile to do the nice things for each other, just so that you can both recharge your batteries as necessary. What needs to be done this week? We need grocery shopping. We need to do cooking. We need to do. I have these appointments. Can you look after Bub while I go do them? Whatever it is, or like, you know, Mum's like, man, you've been working so hard, babe. I see you. I want you to go have a weekend of, like, with the boys, or I want you to go have a weekend where you just go do you, whatever you want to do, right? No pressure, nothing. And vice versa. It's like he can see that she's completely drained because she's, you know, breastfeeding a baby and, or whatever it is, looking after this child so heavily because the baby is so dependent on a mum in those early times. And it's like, I've booked you in for a massage on Friday. I'm going to look after baby. You go do that. Like, go get some self-care in. Like, I see that you're forgetting this about yourself because you're so exhausted and depleted, right? It's doing these nice things for each other and being aware of where each other is at. Sunday check-ins, big fan of them. Even as a Sunday check-in of like, okay, how did we go this week? What worked, what didn't work? Is there anything that you'd like to talk about that might be hard? Is there anything that you'd like to talk about? Like, share what you're grateful about each other for. All these little things that it's like you go to work and you're trying to hit KPIs, right? And that's just normal. But in relationships, we're not trying to hit KPIs. We're not like, okay, these are the things that make us work and function the best way we can so that we just absolutely adore each other and love each other and we're so graceful towards each other. But we don't check in with them ever. We're just winging it. Like, have the conversations. Yeah, they're uncomfortable. Yeah, they're awkward. Yeah, they're weird because we weren't taught how to do this. But if you want to have a flourishing relationship, even in dating, if you want to have healthy dating experiences, have these conversations, ask the questions, be open, lean in, like share where you're at, be vulnerable. It's really hard, it's scary, and yeah, it can feel really nerve-wracking to like be vulnerable when in dating. But if you don't put yourself out there, how are you ever going to, like, you have to risk it for the biscuit. You've got to risk it for the biscuit. And I just think it's healthier to know where both people are at than trying to guess or assume, because assumptions, you know what they say about making assumptions, it makes an ass out of you and me. Don't make assumptions, because our brains, again, men and women's brains are so wildly different that you're thinking two different things. So unless you ask each other the questions, how are you on the same page? How do you know? How do you move forwards as a team? How do you understand that, it's where you're at if you don't ask? All right, that was a lot. It is a topic that I love. I hope I didn't lose you too much. I know I bounced a little bit. I was a bit of a pinball machine. I apologize, but it's just, I don't know, it's so easy for me to talk about this and I have so much to say about it. So whenever something drops in, I just go with it. But I hope that makes sense. I will attach a little like image at the bottom of this episode so that you can go back and reference it and you can just see the list super easily. Like what's, what do women need? What is their natural healed qualities? What is their wounded qualities? Same goes for men. What do they need in relationships? What are their shadow qualities or their wounded qualities? And what are their healed natural qualities that we love? So, yeah, I hope this has been helpful. This is, I guess, my standard or my guidepost, like my North Star of relationships. This is what I believe in and what I see works within couple dynamics. When these things are like matching up and working with each other, like, yeah, it's beautiful and healthy. And keep going back out. Out you go on your bed. Nope, we're going back down, downward dog. All right, cool. Yeah, it's just, it seems to be a really healthy space, and it's the relationships that I have seen do this without even knowing, for starters, because this stuff wasn't knowledge back in the day. Those relationships where you're just like, God, those people are just amazing together. They do this naturally. It just comes naturally to them. It happens. And the relationships that I see that struggle are the ones where there's criticizing and judgment and bitchiness and the tally. I did this, so you have to do that. Or I've been doing all of this and you're not doing anything. Like, it's all of that that's building up to this incredible level of resentment and contempt. And I think once you get to contempt, even once resentment starts building, it's hard to get back from. Once you get to contempt, I don't think that love can be salvaged. I haven't seen it. It's usually when it really just turns to absolute shit. So yeah, and people feel like you loved each other at some point, and maybe the relationship wasn't meant to work for whatever reason. You met when you were both not, like, you change over time and you don't grow together. That's why I think it's super important that both people do the growth work on themselves individually, as well as the relationship does the growth work too. Because otherwise one person's going to grow in a different direction. And maybe you still go in different directions because you met when you were both unhealed at certain levels and you kind of step into your own person and you go different ways. Maybe that happens. But I think for the best chances of both of you making it together, you have to be both growing individually and working on yourselves and through your stuff so that you can still continue to grow together. I think that's really important. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll attach everything at the end. Thanks for being here. We made it 10 weeks. Look at us go. Love it. Have a beautiful day, everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye.